Well, that wasn't too difficult. It was very straightforward. Rented the car for the week, €150, and full of petrol, bring it back full, and that's it. It's another beautiful day in Javea. The sun is shining, there's not a cloud in the sky, and apparently it's going to get up to around about 18 degrees today, which is fantastic. It's just my kind of weather. We're taking a bit of a walk this morning. It's about a 25-minute walk. We're heading down to a car rental place. And so by renting a car, what that will allow us to do, it will allow us to go out to a lot of different locations, record a lot more footage in a shorter time frame, because walking everywhere takes an awful lot of time, and then we can then sit down in the apartment for 2 or 3 days and really put our noses to the grindstone. One of the first things we did with our rent-a-car was to take the 30-minute drive inland to explore the Las Calaveras cave, which has evidence of human use as far back as 50,000 years ago.
My origins date back 135,000 years to the Cretaceous period, when the planet was inhabited by marine and winged reptiles, small mammals and birds with beaks, which lived in the dense forest of a temperate climate. The forests consisted of tall willows and oaks. Humidity levels were high, owing to the fact that global warming was far greater than today because of the greenhouse effect, caused as well by the high level of methane which was concentrated in the atmosphere.
This is as far as you can walk in the cave. We come up to this metal gate, and it just drops off into quite a deep chasm, and you can hear water that's running down through the rocks, and the chasm apparently is flooded. And this is also where the town of Bendileg, as I like to call it, gets its water supply still. So many thousands of years ago, people were using this cave for shelter and a drinking water source. And it's still being used today as a drinking water source for the local town of Bendileg. So how was that, Intrepid Explorer?
It was pretty fabulous, huh?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It was more, well, there was more to it than I thought. I thought it was just going to be a sort of like hole in the wall kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't like get through to the water gallery. You know, it would be nice if they sort of like
built some sort of suspension bridge over there, so
Yeah.
you could actually walk above the water gallery.
Yeah, and there was one large area which had originally had a big pond in it, and they drained the pond and filled it in.
Yeah,
I would have.
it would have been prettier.
Yeah, it
to
would,
look
wouldn't
at
it?
than-
Just to if they'd managed to sort of like put a bridge over it.
Yeah.
Because filling it in, draining it and filling it in and
Didn't make sense,
concreting
really,
and
did
putting
it?
paths, surely that would have been more expensive. Anyway.
I know. But it was great.
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was really interesting, yeah.
Stopping to smell the roses is one of the many reasons why we chose this radical change in lifestyle. But visiting all of these exciting new places wasn't getting us any closer to buying a yacht. So we got a list of marinas together and headed north to check them out.
What you doing, Baz?
Well, today we're heading north to go to marinas and look at yachts. So it's time to dig through this box of stuff, because in here are two things. One is the sat nav, and the other thing is a dive torch.
What's the torch for?
Well, when we look at a boat, one of the things we're going to be doing is poking our heads and hands into all the nooks and crannies, and so you need one of these things to check that there's no rot and basically look in the dark places for all bad stuff.
Right.
One of the reasons we hired the car was to get a chance to travel to as many marinas within driving distance, a day's driving distance, and talk to as many salespeople as possible. We've been to a few places, a lot of them are really small and don't have any sales offices, and we've just come from the main big marina in Valencia, which is huge and has got lots of boats. We found one sales office.
One sales office.
Yeah, nice guy. What was his name?
Emilio.
Emilio.
Very nice guy.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. But I was very disappointed in the fact that he didn't immediately say, "Oh yes, I have 3 that will suit you. Come and have a look." So it was disappointing. So we've got, because we're bulldogs and we don't let go, there's a couple more marinas north of here, but we're just going to try one more north of here, and if that pans out to be the same as the ones we've visited so far coming up from the south, what we're going to do is we're going to get back to Javier, back to our apartments, back to our electronic devices, and start shooting out a load of emails to all of the online agencies saying, hey, these are our requirements, what have you got, and make them do the legwork for us.
Yeah. Fast. What are you up to?
Well, we meant to go to one restaurant called La Caja Azul, but he had 80 people coming in tonight. It was just him in the kitchen, so we got kicked out of there, and we wandered through a few alleyways and found this place here. Called,
Very nice. Oh, let me see. Palau de Javier restaurant. Yeah.
Palau de Javier, yeah.
Yeah.
So how's the wine?
It's very nice. Spanish table wine. You just can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong now. Yeah. So we've ordered some tapas, haven't we?
Yes. I'm having a goat's cheese with walnut and raisins, and you're having the patatas bravas.
Yeah, spicy potatoes. Yeah.
And then for mains, you're having the duck.
Yep.
And I'm having the lamb.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah. We just had the best evening out in Xavier. Baz and I went out for a meal. We thought we'd just go because we were celebrating passing our sailing exams and becoming day skippers. And we had a fantastic meal. And then when we were coming home, we met this group of people all dressed in black and white. And a couple of them went, "Hey, high five!" And they said, "Oh, would you like to come to a party? We're on a combined hen and stag party." And we went, "Yeah, that'd be great."
Let's go to the party!
Come on. Where's Baz? Oh, there
Nice to meet you.
This is Sergio. He's the guy getting married.
Welcome to Javea.
And he's getting married to this lady here.
This is Natalie. Just about to get married in April. And this is her hen and stag party. Yeah. And they invited us here. Thank you.
Well, that was totally random.
I know.
We had a quiet Saturday night in a very nice restaurant with some really good food, and then we bumped into some guys as we turned a corner.
And I gave them a high five, and they invited us to their party.
Yeah, it was kind of like a combined stag party and hen party.
Yeah.
And they just said, "Come to the party."
Yeah.
So we did.
And they're such lovely people.
Very nice.
Oh, lovely. It was so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so grateful.
So now us old fogies are going to go home and
I
leave
know.
the young kids to party.
Yeah.
It's all good. Saturday night in Javea.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a boat called Arse. Can you imagine that on the radio? You know, Valencia Port Control, Valencia Port Control. This is sailing vessel Arse, sailing vessel Arse. Over.